Hey guys, what's up? V8 Merc here, and today we're going to be taking a look at changing the grips on a Smith Wesson 6906. I imagine this grip change would be the same on a 59 series and maybe even a few others because there's other grip frames that have the same type of grips here. So what we're going to do is basically go through the install. This, what I had in my hands right here, was the installation instructions, which I tried to go by when I was doing the installation and didn't really, I don't know. A video is always better in my opinion. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. Now what you want to do, I'm going to go over first, is the grips themselves, or whatever comes in this package here. Of course you get the instructions, you get the grips themselves. These are Hogue Monogrips, got the rubbery texture, wrap around, pretty comfortable feel. I have the same brand of grips on other handguns. Now for this specific installation, it comes with basically a mainspring housing for this, and you can see that it has screw holes on either side, and the reason for that is it comes with these two screws, which is how this grip is affixed to the actual firearm itself. So once we get in there, I'll describe everything for you, and we can go ahead and get to it. I'm going to set this stuff to the side here so it doesn't get bumped and knocked off the table. Now first of all, of course, we want to safety check the firearm, remove the magazine. All right, let's get this out of frame here and go ahead and check, visually check and physically check. I already know this firearm's empty. You want to decock the firearm when you do this because the hammer cock back puts load on the spring, and it's kind of hard to it's going to pop the grip off, but when you want to install it, it's going to be difficult to install. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. Now you really don't have to remove the slide off of the firearm itself, so we really don't have to do that. First order of business here is to basically, let's get a pointing tool, is to remove this pin here for the mainspring itself. On this grip, the mainspring housing is included in the grip, as you can see right here, in that hole. That's where the mainspring housing is. So we're going to go ahead and use a very small hammer for this job. You can use any size hammer you want. Probably don't want to use a sledgehammer. And because I'm not working in my shop, I'm going to be using this to place under. This is basically a shotgun 2 plug to drift out this pin here. So let's go ahead and do that. So basically you just want to tap it out. Shouldn't be too difficult. Ideally you want to use maybe a brass punch so you don't mar these pins or anything like that. I really don't mind, so I'm basically using, I think this is a gas port cleaning tool for an AK. Alright, so there's the pin itself, and you can see there is a gap in the center, and that's where there's like an aluminum spring cap housing in there, and there's a little I don't know, I guess you'd call it kind of like a little nipple on the end of it, and that's what gets stuck in there, prevents this pin from moving, so that's what causes the tension to keep that pin in place. Of course, the spring tension is what does that. Now these grips are not that difficult to remove. If you study the inside, you'll notice inside here, which is going to be kind of hard to show. I just might as well show you guys when the grips are off. Right in there. Inside here on the sides, not in the back, in the front, there's two pieces of plastic that hold onto the frame. So basically the way you want to do this is go ahead and you want to separate this grip like that off of there. Now what you want to do, right, is you can push down like that. That will pop the spring tension off. You see it'll end up like this. And so go ahead and push these grips apart and out at the same time, right? So this way and then that way, and then go ahead, it will pop off just like that. We can go ahead and I'm going to hold it towards myself. And we've got to clear one more gap there, and there, it's almost pretty much off right there. Now you can see the spring actually is still inside its housing here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out, and like this is what I was talking about, that little nipple on the end of it. Make sure you guys got a good shot of that so you understand what I was talking about. I'm going to put the spring back on here and give you an idea of what I was talking about. This is what actually holds that grip on right here. These two pieces of plastic on the inside. So that's why you gotta, if you can see that in there, that's why you gotta pull the grips out. Don't want to pull too much, you don't want to crack them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side. Now, these grips are pretty difficult to install in my opinion. They're not that easy because the monogrip design, the front finger grooves here kind of make it harder. Now on this grip, the way this one works, instead of clipping in the front like how these ones do, this one clips on the back right here, right next to the spring right here on both sides there. So it is difficult to do. But what you want to do first here is you want to put in this new mainspring housing. Basically, I don't know if that's the proper term to call it, but that's what I'm calling it. So go ahead and pop it on like that, and there's a little bit of spring tension, so all you want to do here is just compress it in and then set it in there so it can rest there freely. And then all you're going to do now is put in this pin here. This pin is a little bit difficult. You see, I gave it that was a very stiff whack to get that pin in there. There we go. Now you see, you have to make that pin pretty even. I think you guys noticed that I may have hit the frame a little bit. That's why using a lightweight hammer really won't do too much damage if it does. Generally, I'm pretty good at aiming my hammer blows, but as you see here, the pin is basically in the middle right there, just about. Give it a couple taps to get it over. So that's it for this portion here. Now we're going to actually install the grips here. Okay. Now you can pop the grips on just like that in the front, right? Just pop it on just like this. Now you got to understand that the back of this grip has to tuck in under here, under the beaver tail here, and it also has to enclose around the back of the frame itself. Now these little tabs on the inside, right by my index fingers, right here and right there, they can easily break. I've already installed these once, and I can see that there's a white line formed that they're almost ready to break off, because it is very difficult to do this without actually kind of ruining them. So what you can do is you can just pop this on just like this. You'll probably get one side to pop on no problem. The other side's going to prove difficult. So in this case, I got the right panel already on there, and you can see how well it is tucked into there like that, right, versus the other one. And you can just basically tuck in this rubber right here. All right, so this side is on. So now to install the other side, you're going to have to pull this grip up and over onto there, right? So you want to. So I think I got it right there. You can see there's a little gap here. Probably got to push it forward, and there. It's pretty much there. I think the rubber has to hold. Sorry for taking out a frame there. Try not to do that again. All right, so basically I just squeezed them on. So what you want to do with the other panel is you gotta, let's see if I can do this correctly. You want to take this and lift it up and over, and then kind of push on the back and get it to lock in, just like that. Now the next part here is basically just dropping the screw, and then you're gonna just screw it in here. And it should be good to go. Now, I think the grips went on very easily. I think I may have broken one of the tabs off, but I don't think it's going to really affect anything, because these screws are going to hold the grip on pretty much itself. So I don't think we're going to have a problem with it. I'm pretty sure I broke one of the tabs because that was way too easy to do. Okay, I'm just going to give them, usually when I stuck screws down, I tighten them, then I'll give them like less than 1/8 of a turn more or 1/8 of a turn more. Depends what I'm working on. If they're plastic threads, you don't want to do too much. But the thread, the screw holes in that mainspring housing, I think they are steel lined there. So now you can go ahead and check the grip here for a feel. There's no gap on the back, which is really nice. Tucks in beautifully on the back right there. Blends in very well. Very light. I would say a very light bump in there. As far as the front, it does add the width, or not the width, sorry, the length course, it does add some width to the grip here. You can see a comparison right there, and I'll let you guys pause it if you want. Let's see if we can. We should have probably taken a picture before and after, because right here is where you can see the width being added to either side. But it is far more comfortable. Of course, with this, you're going to need the magazine in, because, well, if you have larger hands like I do, my pinky has nowhere to go. So we already know when we check this magazine's empty and gun's unloaded. Okay, so with the, let's see, I'll do it with my left hand so you guys can see. So with the grip itself, you can see that it fits very nicely. Very comfortable, a little bit wider for someone who has larger hands like myself. Very nice grip. Like I said, the installation, there it is. There's the piece right there. It must have fallen out. The installation itself is a little bit harder than what I just showed you, but this is, with the tab breaks off, I don't think I'm going to have any problems with the grips kind of sliding off. They're very tight fitting. Very nice, good quality. Hogue generally makes pretty good grips. I have a nice set on my BFR, which uses, I think, the Ruger Blackhawk grip frames, and very comfortable, very nice, especially if you have a larger hand. And if you have a smaller gun like this, maybe you want a larger grip. So that's the video for you guys. Just did a quick grip installation. This is actually going to be a 3-part video. I'm going to be doing some spring changes in this gun here. We're going to be doing the hammer spring and the trigger spring, trying to lighten up the trigger pull and the overall spring weight in there. All right, guys. V8 Merc out.